Happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to Mindset Monday. You're stuck with me again. Just call it the Rachel Show and we'll just do it every Monday. It's fine. So I am prepared today and we're going to talk about mind traps. So I've got a little screen share. I'm prepared with a presentation show. So I'm just going to get it ready and then I'm going to screen share with you all about mind traps. So hopefully this will work right because I want to be able to do this with other people. Okay, right. Let me go back to here and screen share. Okay, can you all see the screen? Yes, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so it's tips to avoid basically mind traps. Like it will become apparent what they are. So it's important to practice mindfulness to become aware of your thoughts and feelings. And I will go through like a few different mind trap scenarios at the end because I've had a few within the month of March. So I want to talk about that. And if I've had them, you lot have probably had them too. The next one is challenging your assumptions and beliefs by asking yourself if they're based on evidence or just assumptions. Like we can think somebody's being a certain way or, you know, you've heard something, but until you know for fact that that is correct, you're just assuming something. The next one is reframe your negative thoughts into more positive ones. We all do this. We all go through times when we are being negative Nellies, as people say, and we need to put more positive thoughts. It's like stopping yourself within that thing. Was it a gap in the game? Stopping yourself within that situation when you're thinking about something negative and then flick it to something more positive. Obviously we get days when we're negative, but remaining in that positive frame of mind is the most important thing. The next one is avoid overgeneralizing or catastrophizing situations. I will be doing this on the 14th of April when I fly. Catastrophizing that something's going to happen while I'm on a flight. You can't do stuff like that. Like you just can't. Your mind will go crazy. Practicing self-compassion and being kind to yourself when you make mistakes. This is more apparent with people if you're not hitting the goals that you want to hit, or, you know, something's happened in the month and it's sent you off track. Do not worry about it. I myself have been through that in March. Just pick yourself up again and start again. We all learn every single day. Every time something happens, we learn every day. So just give yourself some kindness, be kind to yourself, some compassion, and move on. Seek out diverse perspectives and information to broaden your understanding. So the best thing about this team is that everybody in the squad has different opinions and different perspectives on things. So if you're struggling, somebody said to me yesterday and they popped onto training and they said, oh, it's nice because you think very differently and you train your team very differently to my upline. So I like that everybody's got different opinions of how they work and how they do things and different perspective on different situations. So it's important to do that and learn from people like the back to basics training, like the master in sales. Everybody does different things in their business or with their mindset or with personal development. Everybody's different. So it's important to get all them perspectives from different angles and then decide on what's best for you. Because something I do might not be best for you. Something Selena does or says might not be the thing that you want to do. And something Becca says might be something that you actually do want to do. Everybody's got a different perspective. So it's important to broaden your horizons of that. And set realistic expectations and goals for yourself. Now, I'm always going to say, like, you should shoot for the stars. So I'm always going to say, if somebody asks me what I want to be in terms of goals for here, is 200K. I'm always going to say that. And I do believe that I will be 200K. It's not something that I don't believe is going to happen. But you have to be realistic when you set them. So at the beginning of the month, I don't think, right, I've got to hit 40K this month. Obviously, that's my goal. But I just do what Selena says. One customer, one promoter. One customer, one promoter. A little bit at a time. I don't think of like the end goal. I think of just little small steps to reach that goal. Next one, take breaks and practice self-care to avoid burnout. We've been doing this now since January. Gonna get burnt out. You've seen it yourselves. All of you have. Like, people have started really strong and they've just dropped off. That will happen. We're all working our butts off right now. It's gonna happen. But if you don't take like regular breaks, even if that's stepping away for 5 minutes and putting your phone down, face down on the table and just going for a walk, or you know, going and standing in the garden and just getting a bit of fresh air for 5 minutes, or go and make yourself drink and read a book for 10 minutes. You know, go and exercise for 15 minutes. Like, do something that is not, do something that fires your soul more than anything. For me, it's reading. I love to read. So for me, if I'm reading something, that is self-care to me. My second guilty pleasure is taking a bubble bath. Taking a bubble bath and doing my skincare is one of my things I do to chill. It's important to have that bit of self-care, especially when you're going for really, really huge goals. And hopefully, yes, that is it. So I'm going to stop my screen share because I want to go through some of the things that I found out this morning and some examples of mind traps. I have a little sheet here. So there's a few different categories that mind traps can fall into. Number one is mind reading. So you're assuming what people are thinking. You're assuming they're thinking negatively about you, without any proof of their thoughts, without them even saying anything. And I'm going to I'm going to tell you a little bit about me last week. I did this exact same thing. I thought that one of my friends was avoiding me because they weren't talking to me. And instead of just thinking maybe that person's busy, I was thinking, because of my own past traumas and stuff that I've had to deal with, oh, does that person not like me anymore? Or what have I done wrong to, you know, upset that person? Actually, nothing. I'm just trying to think about what somebody's actually thinking, when actually they're probably not thinking anything. They're just busy working. They're just busy. It's the worst thing you can do with your mind is, you know, assume something about somebody else. The next thing is catastrophizing. So believe in the worst possible outcome and that you won't be able to handle that outcome. Like, what if I get anxious and don't know what to say? Prime example here, training. I hate training. I don't like it, but the more I do it, I'm going to get better at it. But it's that thing, like, I'm going to use it as an example. Palooza. I'm not good in social situations. Anxiety will kick right in as soon as I walk in that place. I just know it. I'm still going to do it. But it is that thing. It's like when you're training or when you're stood on a stage or when you're doing anything which has got a lot of people in there, you automatically think, oh, what if I do something wrong? What if I say something wrong? What if I look stupid saying it? You know, what are people thinking? All of that stuff. And do you know what? Nothing is as bad as our heads make it out to be. Nothing. We always overanalyze stuff, and it's never that bad. Another one that's sort of in the same lines is jumping to conclusions. So predicting the future, being scared to step out of your comfort zone, being scared, which I know a lot of people are, to step to the next level of their business. That's a scary thing. Sometimes we self-sabotage them things. I know loads of us have. She's laughing because I'm looking at her. I know loads of us have. We have. Like, even when you're at the top, you still do it. Jen still does it too. It's normal. Another one, discounting the positives. Thinking that your value and accomplishments don't matter. And you start comparing yourself to other people's achievements and, you know, other people's accomplishments and what they've achieved, and, oh, they're achieving this, but, you know, I can't do it, and devaluing yourself. You can do anything you put your mind to, all of you. Anything. You've just got to get it. You've just got to take action. That's it. All or nothing thinking. Feeling things through an all or nothing or a black and white situation, or a good and bad, or a right or wrong. It doesn't work like that. Not everything is black and white. Sometimes it's grey. It just is. Blaming. This is one that I used to do. I've worked a lot on self-development on myself for the last year, but this is one I used to do a couple of years ago, is blaming past situations, traumas, emotional stuff, emotional baggage for yourself, blaming your current situation on what's happened in the past. It's nobody's fault. I know people who still do this now. It's nobody's fault. Something that's happened to you that's traumatic. It's no one's fault, but you can't go then and say, oh, the reason I'm not doing this, or the reason I'm not successful, the reason I'm not in a good relationship is because of that. You have to get past that and know that you can't be living back. You don't live there. You live in the present, in the now. It's up to you. Like, you can have many, many bad things happen to you in your past, but it's up to you to make that happen and not let a negative situation affect your present. I'm just reading a few of them because there are lots. Unfair comparisons. And I know a lot of us do this. So placing unrealistic standards on yourself, comparing yourself to other people. You know, like, oh, other people my age are here now, but I'm only here. Or, you know, they're a 200K and I'm a 4. Like, you cannot compare yourself. You can't, or they're more educated than me, or they're more confident than me, or they're prettier than me. Like, us as women, like, we can be really harsh on ourselves as well, from a whole, you know, not just internally, but externally as well. And you can't compare yourself to anybody. You are unique in your own way, and you have qualities that other people do not have. You all do. You all have, I can name equal, like, different qualities about you all. Just because, yeah, you can't do what she's doing. When you can, you just do it differently. That's it. You just do it in a different way. And if you need, like, there's some things like training, you know, I've learned a lot from Selena and Jen from watching them, because they're better at something than me, or they're more confident at something than me. But it doesn't mean I can't do the same thing. I can. It's just going to take me a bit longer to learn it. So I don't ever think that I can't do something that somebody else does. I just think that I need to take some time to learn that thing. There's lots of different ones. I will put this in the training in the squad, but there's lots of different mind traps that you will naturally fall into within the day that you have to pull yourself out of. And it's the same thing that The Gap and the Gain, like, I love that book, but if you haven't read it, go and read it. But it's knowing when to pull yourself out of them mind trap situations. It's when you're going down that road and you're having them negative thoughts, whatever they may be, it's pulling yourself back out of that and carrying on with your day, and not, you know, having, it's all right to be in a negative space. It is. You know, it's all right to have an off day. Everybody has an off day. You cannot be frigging 100% happy and perfect all the time. It does not happen. I don't care what anyone says. There's nobody that's happy all the time, constantly. And it does knock you off your tracks a bit. But the worst thing is if it knocks you off for like a day, and then you say, it's okay, I'm going to be all right tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you don't go again. And you're in that frame of mind again and again. And before you know it, it's 2 weeks later. And you're still in that same situation. The one thing I love more than anything about this company and this team is community. And I know that if I get into that state of mind, that I just have to reach out to somebody in this team and I will feel better again, which all of you can do. Everybody is here to support everybody else. Whoever that is, like whoever you resonate with more, even if you don't, like just message somebody. And I've never messaged somebody in this team that hasn't then been there for me when I've messaged them. So they are a few of the mind traps that you can fall into. I'm going to put the sheet and the presentation on the training when it's downloaded. But yeah, does anybody have any questions about any of them things, or any of them things that you fall into? Like, I know some of you have fallen into ones like that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I have recently.
Oh, there's
Exactly what you said. It like getting, pulling yourself out of it, like recognizing it first and then pulling yourself out of it. I mean, it was like 2 weeks ago, and that's exactly what happened. And I couldn't pull myself out of it until I talked to you and talked to Jen.
Yeah. It is hard.
know,
Mental health and them thoughts that your head can just exaggerate things so much. You can go from here to there in 2 seconds. You can overanalyze everything. You can go from being very, very happy to very, very low very quickly. And it's important when you do to try and get yourself out of that as quickly as possible. And if you can't, like Selena's just said, then reach out to somebody that you know will pull you out of that.
yeah, I find like just focusing on gratitude helps too.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The things you do in the morning, me, Jen and Talita were on yesterday talking about this. The things you do in the morning before you start anything. She's laughing because of the time they want me to get up in the morning, which is ridiculous. The things you do in the morning can start your day off really, really well. Like if you pick up your phone, it's the one thing that I never do because Selena taught me not to do it, is pick up your phone and see a message that may be negative in some way, or somebody blocking you, or somebody calling you a spammer or whatever else. Just don't pick it up because it will set the tone for the rest of your day. Just don't pick it up.
That's why the 5 a.m. club is so good. The power hour.
Yeah.
The book talks about.
All right, Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you guys were talking about? Yeah,
we were, but the
5
power
a.m.
hour
club.
does not start at 4:45 a.m. like they want me to start. No.
Yeah, no, that's too early.
Yeah, I've been doing that now. 4:45 and get up, ride my bike at 5,
Crazy.
read, brain dump. And I said like it's so quiet because Neil is sleeping, Zachary's sleeping, and I moved my bike out yesterday so Neil doesn't scream at me because of the instructor is screaming at his ears because the bike was next to him. So I moved the bike yesterday. He has like, well, you gotta remove the bike out. But those are the things like I get so much done now when in the morning. Like I talk on my story, I did a live, I had my round 2 on the platforms. So, and now I'm working on the other platform that I mentioned yesterday.
It's true though, your mind is more open to ideas and stuff like that in the morning, when like first thing in the morning. It is just, it ain't gonna be that early for me.
It's how like so when I was reading, like she said, like that's the dump hours, because I notice like things that it comes in our head and we just ignore it, but the universe is telling us like,
Yeah.
hey, this is like the things you need to be done, but we're doing other things. So it's so true, and this is so amazing training. Thank you, Rachel.
That's
You
all
did
right.
awesome. See,
I'm getting better and better.
you are the best. Like you're doing all this training, and
Even though I hate it,
it's like it's always something like it hit me like things that get in your head and make you stop. Like you just like assuming things like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, Rachel is like not talking to me. But it's just like assuming like she is busy, like somebody else is busy, like
Yeah.
somebody else day is not going great, like what you were thinking, that you were
Yeah.
just assuming things.
It's the worst thing you can do with your own mind, because you can get carried away in your own thoughts. And unless you pull yourself out of that, or know somebody that can pull you out of that. Selena knows that she can message me and I'll be like, oi, Mrs. sort your shit out, get back to work. Like, stop, get out your own head. It's true, and we all do it, and we all at some point compare and do all of the things that I mentioned before. It's normal for us to do that, but you have to remember at the same time that you have your own unique quality and your own ways of doing things, and
I'm teaching exactly that way too, like the positive instead, like, and because we're doing the martial art, instead of him like, oh, you should know that, you should say, Zachary, my brain is different than your brain. Like you
Yeah.
absorb things really fast. I'm going on my own base because he got to the next belt and I'm still on his.
Yeah.
I'm going on my base. So don't tell me that I can't, because I will get there.
Yeah.
So it's good too to teach our
Yeah. And
young.
remember that everybody's working at their own pace. It's not a race. It's not a race. We all learn stuff at different paces. We all learn, like I learn every single day from everybody. That's what it's about. It's about you learning, not you getting there very, as fast as possible.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like that. And just picking yourself up, learning to love yourself, pick yourself up when you fall into them mind traps. Because we all do it. Right, I'm going to stop the recording because I've waffled enough.